Your girlfriend is cheating on you, my best friend says. Should I ask you if you're cheating too? Your wife slept with my boyfriend. Want to get revenge by sleeping with me. My girlfriend's best friend, Huang Mingyue, came to my shop, holding up a hotel key card and said this to me. 1. I was in the middle of taking stock, and when I heard Huang Mingyue say this, I was immediately stunned. Huh? I said, Tian Tian and Zhao Kai are hooking up? Don't you want to get revenge the same way? Seeing me blank, Huang Mingyue impatiently repeated herself. Her words contained a lot of information, and I was speechless for a long time. Su Tian Tian is cheating with Zhao Kai? Get revenge the same way? The wife she was talking about was actually my girlfriend, Su Tian Tian. We had met through a matchmaker over a year ago. I thought she was pretty and had a good personality, so we started dating. Huang Mingyue's boyfriend, Zhao Kai, was someone she met on a blind date last month. He worked at a bank and was quite handsome. They had even visited US and eaten with us a few times. I looked at the date and said, tomorrow is April Fool's Day. Last April Fool's Day, Su Tian Tian had used Huang Mingyue to test me. She wanted to see if I would be attracted to her best friend and cheat on her. I didn't expect another new trick this year. I'm serious. I have proof that they cheated. Seeing that I didn't believe her, Huang Mingyue immediately started rummaging through her bag for her phone, looking serious. You didn't intentionally have Zhao Kai hug Tian Tian and take a few pictures just to mess with me, right? I smiled when I heard that and continued taking stock, not taking it seriously. Su Tian Tian and I had a good relationship. We had just moved in together a little over a month ago. See for yourself. Huang Mingyue placed her phone in front of me. I glanced at it absently while I was taking stock, and my mind instantly exploded. It was a surveillance video of a hotel hallway. Although it was a bit blurry, I could still clearly see that it was them. The two were making out while walking down the hotel hallway, their lips almost glued together. The video ended when they entered a room. The surveillance date showed it was 3 nights ago at 10 p.m. That night, I was out of the house, drinking and singing karaoke with clients. I didn't get back until 2 in the morning. This couldn't be an April Fool's joke anymore. I instantly became angry and humiliated. I have other evidence, Huang Mingyue said at that moment. Let me see, I said to Huang Mingyue, trying to suppress my anger. But Huang Mingyue said, go to the hotel. I'll show you then. I looked at Huang Mingyue. I did have a strong urge to get revenge. Zhao Kai is sleeping with my girlfriend, so me sleeping with his girlfriend in retaliation. What's wrong with that? And to be honest, Huang Mingyue was prettier and had a better figure than Su Tian Tian. Huang Mingyue was the slim, tall type, while Su Tian Tian was the petite, cute type. And Huang Mingyue wasn't as clingy and prone to being a drama queen like Su Tian Tian. Her personality was that of a cool, strong, and powerful woman. She always had an air of not giving up. When Su Tian Tian first introduced me to Huang Mingyue, I was stunned by her beauty. Men are like that. We all love looking at beautiful women. It has nothing to do with whether you have a girlfriend or wife. But it's just admiration. After all, I have a girlfriend, and our relationship is good. There are too many beautiful things in the world that you don't own. If you have the opportunity to admire them, you are already blessed. Don't think too much about anything else. Thinking of how engrossed Su Tian Tian looked in that video, I felt disgust more than anger. I quickly regained my composure. Mingyue, don't be impulsive. Actually, Huang Mingyue didn't need to show me any more evidence. That one video was enough. But Huang Mingyue looked at me with displeasure. They've already slept together, and not just once. And you're telling me not to be impulsive? She then stuffed the key card into my hand. This is a one-time opportunity. It's up to you whether you take it. 2. After Huang Mingyue left my shop, I immediately picked up my phone to call Su Tian Tian. Was I not good enough to her? Or was I unable to satisfy her materially and physically? But I didn't dial the number in the end. Su Tian Tian cheating was already a fact. From the moment I saw the video, it was destined that we were over. But I couldn't just let it slide. I wanted to get revenge. Since they disgusted me, I absolutely wouldn't let them have it easy. Thinking this, I glanced at the room card in my hand and closed the store's shutter door. Honestly, who wouldn't have thoughts of conquering a woman like Huang Mingyue when they saw her? Now, the opportunity was right in front of me, and I was doing it for revenge. They were in the wrong first. I had reason and evidence. Originally, I had come overexcitedly, my mind filled with revenge and venting. But the moment I opened the door, I had already given up on that idea. If I really had a room with Huang Mingyue, what difference would there be between us and them? What are you doing at the door? Come in. Just as I was debating whether to leave, Huang Mingyue called out from inside the room. I hesitated for a moment, but still went in, thinking I should talk to Huang Mingyue face to face. I originally thought that by the time I arrived, Huang Mingyue would have showered and be waiting for me in bed. But when I walked in, I found Huang Mingyue sitting at the desk by the window, smoking. It was the first time I had seen her smoke. Her hair had indeed been washed, but she was dressed neatly. Moreover, the anger she had before was gone from her beautiful face, replaced by composure. I then said to her, "I've thought about it. We can't do this." Huang Mingyue glanced at me. "What? You're not fired up? Don't want revenge?" I nodded. "Fired up? I do. But we're not like them after all." Huang Mingyue took a drag of her cigarette and stared at me for a long time without saying a word. Finally, she took out a cigarette and tossed it to me. After I lit it, she said, "I was impulsive just now. After all, Zhao Kai and I only started a month ago. We haven't even held hands much. At most, it's just a breakup. There's nothing to say. I'm just angry at Tian Tian. If she's going to cheat, why my boyfriend? I've been so good to her, treated her like my own sister. And I also feel it's not worth it for you. You're so good to her." I smoked my cigarette, giving a wry smile. Maybe my being good isn't what she wants. Huang Mingyue looked at me. A hint of heartache flashed across her face, but disappeared quickly. "So what do you plan to do? Go back and confront her?" I shook my head. "I haven't decided yet." "All right. Didn't you say you had other evidence?" Huang Mingyue then stubbed out her cigarette and sent me a WeChat message on her phone. In addition to the surveillance video from earlier, there was also a forwarded chat history. I opened it, and my blood rushed to my head instantly. "Sweetheart. Baby, I just left the hotel, and I already miss you. Kai addict. Little vixen, haven't I satisfied you enough just now? Sweetheart. You're annoying. I just miss you. Kai addict. It's boring to just book a room all the time. When can I go to your place instead? Sweetheart. Then when he's not home, I'll message you. He. Sweetheart and Kai addict were the WeChat names of Su Tiantian and Zhao Kai, and the profile pictures matched as well. The time of this message was shortly after they had booked the room in the surveillance video. The previous chat history was even more unbearable to look at, including even selfies of Su Tiantian taken while showering. I took a hard drag of my cigarette, feeling a bit disgusted and unwilling to read anymore. I scrolled all the way to the top, wanting to see when they had started. Before I could even get there, Huang Mingyue said, "It was about a week after I first brought Zhao Kai to eat with you guys. Tian Tian took the initiative to flirt with Zhao Kai, and Zhao Kai didn't refuse either. I was actually thinking just now, even if she cheated, was it because my being good to her was not what she wanted?" I subconsciously looked at Huang Mingyue at that moment, and the desire for revenge took over my mind again. I immediately put out my cigarette and walked towards Huang Mingyue. 3. Huang Mingyue was immediately startled by me and stood up instinctively, Qiangzi. I looked at Huang Mingyue, panting heavily. "Didn't you ask me to come here?" Huang Mingyue panicked. "I was just temporarily blinded by anger." "Qiangzi, don't be impulsive. You're usually so calm. And you said it yourself. If we do this, what's the difference between us and them?" Seeing the horror on Huang Mingyue's face and the fear in her eyes, I immediately regained my senses. Yeah, what was I doing? No matter how much I retaliated against Su Tiantian and Zhao Kai, it wouldn't be excessive, but Huang Mingyue was innocent. I couldn't hurt Huang Mingyue just because I couldn't stand it. Thinking this, I immediately calmed down and hurriedly said to Huang Mingyue, "I'm sorry, Huang Mingyue finally let out a long sigh of relief and instead comforted me. "It's okay, I understand. I know you, like me, were just temporarily blinded by anger." Hearing Huang Mingyue say this, I nodded to her. "Mingyue, thank you." Huang Mingyue smiled at me. "It's nothing. No matter what those two are like, we'll always be friends." I gave a soft and, leaving the room key, didn't say anything else and left the hotel directly. Huang Mingyue seemed to have a moment of distraction when she heard me close the door, and only after a long while did she exhale a deep breath. When I got home, I saw Su Tiantian, wearing an apron, bustling about in the kitchen, even humming a little tune. Seeing her in this virtuous state, I really couldn't reconcile her with the things in the video and chat logs. "Oh, you're back? I was just about to call you. I've stewed your favorite soft-shelled turtle soup." Su Tiantian blinked at me when she saw me return. I didn't say anything, sitting at the dining table, looking at all the dishes that I liked. And that big bowl of green turtle soup. I felt like I was the one being stewed in the bowl by Su Tiantian. Seeing my low mood, Su Tiantian brought over rice and asked me with concern, "Honey, what's wrong?" I took a deep breath and said, "It's nothing, just business matters." Su Tiantian said with a look of heartache, "Honey, I told you a long time ago, you don't have to work so hard. If we earn more, we'll spend more. If we earn less, we'll spend less. You know me. I don't care about how much money we have, as long as I'm with you. If she had said this in the past, I would have been content and held her hand tightly, grateful to have such a thoughtful girlfriend. But today, I didn't show any reaction. Su Tian didn't say much more and immediately filled a large bowl of soup for me. Not only did I drink it, but I also finished all the turtle in the pot. Seeing this, Su Tian smiled at me mischievously. Eating so much? What do you want to do? Do it! I immediately put down my chopsticks and dragged her into the room for a test drive. Since I decided not to buy it anyway before returning it, might as well use it hard. The next morning, when Su Tian woke up, I had already packed my suitcase. Su Tian opened her sleepy eyes, looking at me sitting expressionlessly on the sofa. She looked quite surprised. Honey? So early. What's the suitcase for? Are you going on a business trip? I didn't say anything and directly forwarded that surveillance video to her. After watching it, her face immediately changed dramatically. Honey, this video must be AI generated. It's really not me. 4. I sneered and then sent her the chat history. When Su Tian saw the messages, her eyes went wide with shock. On her face, I actually saw a variety of complex expressions for a moment. Su Tian suddenly grabbed my arm and said, Honey, listen to my explanation. It's not what you think. I lit a cigarette and watched her perform with amusement. Oh, Su Tian quickly said, Zhao Kai works at the bank. Didn't you want to ask him to help with the loan, so? I took a hard drag on my cigarette and said, So you went to bed with him? Su Tian quickly shook her head. No, it was him. He seduced me. No, he coerced me. I was forced. I shrugged slightly. He coerced you to send him naked photos of yourself? He coerced you to book a room and wait for him? He coerced you to call him husband every time you texted him? Su Tian was immediately stunned. She had only glanced at the chat history briefly just now. Hearing me say these things, she knew I had read all of their chat logs. Seeing her frozen in place, without any follow-up, I stood up, pulled my suitcase, and opened the door. Su Tian hugged me from behind. Honey, I was wrong. It's mainly because you're too busy, and I'm too bored. Don't go. Okay? I promise I won't contact him again. I tossed the suitcase directly out the door, pried her hand off. Who said I was leaving? This is my home. Why should I leave? Su Tian was stunned by my words. I pushed her out the door and slammed it shut. Su Tian finally reacted and immediately started banging on the door. Husband. Husband. I ignored her and locked the door. I used a lot of gas driving last night and didn't sleep well, so I needed to refuel. I woke up and it was almost noon. I picked up my phone to check the time and found a lot of messages. Most of them were from Su Tian. Husband, I know I was wrong. Don't be angry. I know you still love me. Husband, let's start over. Please forgive me this once. Husband, let's get married. Let's get our marriage certificate today. I couldn't be bothered to read anymore. What was she thinking? Still wants to get the marriage certificate? She really thinks my head is a grassland? I didn't reply to her at all and blacklisted her phone number and WeChat. Then I looked at my phone again and saw a WeChat message from Huang Mingyue. It contained the chat logs between Su Tian and Zhao Kai. I opened it and saw it was from this morning. Little sweetheart, Wang Chang knows about us. There are videos of us in the hotel hallway and chat logs too. Kai addict. What happened? Does Mingyue know? Little sweetheart. How would I know? He was fine when he came home last night. He tossed me around all night. And now this. Kai addict. Let's talk when I get off work tonight. I'm at work now. You book a room and wait for me. Looking at the times of their messages, it was clearly earlier than Su Tian's messages asking for forgiveness. I couldn't help but sneer. Oomph. And like that, she still asks for my forgiveness and wants to marry me? But then I thought of something. How did Huang Mingyue get her hands on Zhao Kai and Su Tian's chat logs so quickly? And the message said that Zhao Kai was still at work. Thinking this, I immediately called Huang Mingyue. I got straight to the point. Did you install software on Zhao Kai's phone? Huang Mingyue didn't hide it. Yes. I suspected he was doing something behind my back for a while now. I just didn't expect it to be Tian. 5. I asked Huang Mingyue, Su Tian, and I have completely broken up. What are you going to do? Huang Mingyue laughed coldly. What to do? Nothing. Zhao Kai has a lot more affairs. I only sent you the ones with Tian. And I don't care about his other things. After all, it just started between us. There's no emotional connection. I just hate that he's eating from my backyard and hate Tian for doing this to me. Though Zhao Kai is no good either. I looked at the time. How about we have lunch together and you give me all the evidence you have? Huang Mingyue asked, Do you want to deal with Zhao Kai? I sneered. Shouldn't I? What? Don't tell me you're reluctant. Huang Mingyue immediately spat. How could I? All right, we'll talk when we meet for lunch. After hanging up the phone, I got up and changed my clothes. I also went to the master bedroom, pulled all the bedding off the bed, and threw it on the floor. Then I collected all the things Su Tian had left behind, threw them all into the bedding, bundled it all up, and took it downstairs to the trash. Before leaving, I also changed the password on the fingerprint lock and deleted her fingerprint. I just went to get my car when I heard a voice beside me. Husband, you finally came out. I knew it was Su Tian from the voice. She had actually been waiting for me in the garage. Without turning my head, I got into the car and locked the doors. As expected, she came over immediately, pulling on the car door nonstop as soon as she saw me get in. I didn't even glance at her and immediately drove the car out of the garage. Just before I drove out of the underground garage, I faintly heard Su Tian scream, "Wang Chong, you bastard." I turned on the radio and listened to gentle music, completely relaxing my mood. It was just a car I once liked. After the test drive, I realized it had many problems and was leaking oil, so I didn't want to buy it. What's there to regret? It's just that person who tried to snatch your driver's seat during my test drive is unforgivable. I quickly arrived at the restaurant where I was meeting Huang Mingyue. Huang Mingyue had arrived earlier than me and had already ordered a cup of coffee for me. She was dressed differently than yesterday, looking even more elegant. After I sat down opposite her, she glanced at me and said, "Not bad, you don't look too haggard." I thought to myself, thankfully I ate a whole soft-shelled turtle last night. Otherwise, driving all night might have really taken its toll. I also said to Huang Mingyue, "You look better than I expected." Huang Mingyue shrugged. "I've told you a few times, Zhao Kai and I were just starting out. The relationship wasn't strong. If we split, we split. I definitely don't care. But after all, you and Tian were together for over a year." I took a sip of coffee. It was surprisingly my favorite flavor. I couldn't help but look at Huang Mingyue. "How did you know I don't take sugar or milk?" Huang Mingyue shrugged. "It's not like we haven't eaten together before. Seeing a couple of times, you'd know, wouldn't you?" I nodded, then asked, "What else is up with Zhao Kai?" Huang Mingyue didn't speak, but took out her phone and kept forwarding me messages. I looked at them one by one, and just looking at the first one, my worldview was shattered. The other person was actually a wealthy woman nearing 50. In order to please her and have her help him complete deposit transactions, Zhao Kai was calling her sister every other word. Moreover, looking at the chat records, I could tell they had slept together. There were more than just one of these messages. Many were from these wealthy older women with some assets. There were occasionally some younger ones, but not very good looking, and Zhao Kai called them all darling. It gave me goosebumps all over my body. Is this Zhao Kai working at a bank or a KTV? Huang Mingyue then said, "These aren't even the worst of it. Keep looking." Lu. I continued scrolling through Zhao Kai's chat records with other people. One caught my attention. He was deceiving a young, wealthy woman into buying their financial products. When he was speaking, he was showering her with promises, exaggerating with huge returns, saying it was more beneficial than fixed deposits, and so on. But the risks of the financial products were not mentioned at all. I couldn't help but mutter, "This is theoretically already a form of fraud, right?" Huang Mingyue nodded, "Definitely, and there's more than one person like this. But that's not even the most disgusting thing." I couldn't help but frown and look at Huang Mingyue. What else is disgusting? Huang Mingyue's expression changed slightly, clearly trying to control her emotions. After she finished a sip of coffee, she said to me, "Zhao Kai is my mom's friend, introduced by Aunt Lu." A sudden realization hit me, and I faintly sensed something. Sure enough, Huang Mingyue continued, "This Aunt Lu is actually Zhao Kai's client, and she's been fooled into buying a lot of financial products. Their chat records are also quite unbearable." I wanted to see them, but Huang Mingyue said, "I can't send you Aunt Lu's stuff. Don't look at it." I replied, "Just send me a copy." Huang Mingyue's face turned slightly red as she said, "What do you want to see those disgusting things for?" I told Huang Mingyue, "To deal with Zhao Kai, perhaps your Aunt Lu is the best target for recruitment." Huang Mingyue seemed to understand my meaning, but she still didn't send it. Instead, she opened her phone, found that record, and said to me, "I won't send this to you. Just come over and look." When I heard this, I realized that there must be something about Huang Mingyue's privacy mentioned in the messages between Zhao Kai and Aunt Lu. It was reasonable that Huang Mingyue didn't want me to know. I held my coffee cup and sat down next to Huang Mingyue. She then slowly flipped through the chat records for me, but she was very nervous and flipped through them quickly. However, I instantly caught a piece of information. "Spring has come." "Ah, Zhao Kai, you can't do it. A month has passed, and you still haven't won that girl over?" "Kai addiction. I don't know if there's something wrong with her. We can't even hold hands for more than a minute. Don't even think about kissing." Huang Mingyue also saw this message, quickly swiped past it, and a hint of red appeared on her face. I remarked, "Looks like your Aunt Lu has spent a lot of money on Zhao Kai." Huang Mingyue cleared her throat and said, "Yes, I've calculated it for her. It's already over 4 million. I immediately took a deep breath. "Take me to meet your Aunt Lu," Huang Mingyue then asked. "What do you plan to do?" Before I could answer, a woman's voice came from behind. "Oh, so it's my fault? I wonder if you two have been together long before?" Both Huang Mingyue and I reacted as we recognized the voice of Su Tiantian. The few nearby customers looked over in surprise at her shout. I pretended not to hear and stood up, saying to Huang Mingyue, "Let's go." Huang Mingyue nodded, grabbed her bag, and walked with me. Su Tiantian was relentless. "Huang Mingyue, do you have a conscience? I still thought of you as my best friend, and now you're secretly dating my boyfriend." Huang Mingyue suddenly stopped, turned around, and glared at her. "Su Tian, don't be the first to complain. You know what you've done the best. I don't want to embarrass you in public. If you keep talking nonsense, I might just send what I have to your parents." Su Tiantian, who had been arrogant, suddenly shut her mouth in fear from Huang Mingyue's words. I didn't even bother to look at her and directly walked out to the car. Huang Mingyue got into my car and sat in the passenger seat. By the time Su Tiantian came out, my car had already driven away. She immediately took out her phone and quickly sent a message to Zhao Kai. "Wang Chong and Mingyue are together." Chapter 7. Not long after my car drove away, Huang Mingyue's phone rang. She glanced at it and frowned. "Zhao Kai," I said. "Su Tiantian must have told him that you're with me." Huang Mingyue coldly snorted. "I haven't directly confronted him yet, but I'm really disgusted with him now." I replied. "Answer it. It would be good to hear how he defends himself." Huang Mingyue pressed the speakerphone and answered the call. As soon as the call connected, Zhao Kai's voice came through. "Mingyue, where are you?" Huang Mingyue coldly replied. "Why are you asking under the pretense? Didn't Su Tiantian tell you?" Zhao Kai hurriedly said. "Mingyue, I took leave from my boss. Let's meet up. I can't explain everything over the phone." Huang Mingyue responded. "Is it necessary?" Zhao Kai immediately argued. "I know you won't believe anything I say now." Hearing this, I quickly reached out and pressed the recording button on Huang Mingyue's phone. Huang Mingyue gave me a knowing glance. But Zhao Kai continued on the phone. "It's Su Tiantian. She's the one who seduced me. Wang Chong must have shown you our chat records, right? You should have seen it. She's the one who actively flirted with me." What Zhao Kai said was actually true. But Huang Mingyue still replied, "She flirted with you, and you fell for it? You were this cheap all along." Zhao Kai hurriedly said, "No, Mingyue, let me explain. Actually, the first time we were both drunk, I don't remember anything. After that, Su Tiantian used this to threaten me, and I had no choice but to give in." Huang Mingyue and I exchanged a knowing smile, both aware that Zhao Kai was making things up. We silently listened as the phone continued recording. Zhao Kai belittled Su Tiantian, saying she was worthless and had nothing to her name. In short, he was doing everything he could to clear himself, throwing all the dirt onto Su Tiantian. Even though Huang Mingyue also hated Su Tiantian for betraying me and her, she couldn't listen any longer. "That's enough. I don't want to hear any more. You just keep saying it's all Su Tiantian's fault and that you didn't do anything wrong, right? Let me tell you, Zhao Kai, no matter how dirty and cheap Su Tiantian is, you, this cheap dog, have no right to say that. Goodbye." I couldn't help but smile and didn't speak. However, Huang Mingyue turned to me and said, "Aren't you going to share your opinion?" I cleared my throat and said, "Oh, well, I think your summary is spot on. One is a cheap person, and the other is a cheap dog. Overall, Zhao Kai has a slight upper hand." Huang Mingyue burst out laughing at my words. "You still have the mood to joke." I shrugged slightly and said, "Come on, the ones in the wrong aren't me but them. Why should I punish myself because of two cheap people?" Huang Mingyue nodded slightly, clearly agreeing with my words. "You're right. We should happily bid farewell to the past, kick out the cheap ones, protect ourselves, and welcome our bright future." As she spoke, she made a superhero gesture with her fist. It was the first time I saw her make such a cute gesture that only Su Tiantian would likely do, and I couldn't help but glance at her a few more times. Huang Mingyue noticed my gaze and immediately reminded me, "Focus on driving. We're still young, and we have plenty of youth left to enjoy." Before long, I arrived at Aunt Lu's house. Aunt Lu was dressed flamboyantly, adorned with gold and silver, and heavily made up, watering flowers in her villa. Upon seeing Huang Mingyue and me, she warmly invited us in. Huang Mingyue didn't waste time with small talk. She directly placed the chat records between her and Zhao Kai in front of her. Aunt Lu's expression changed dramatically, and she stood there dumbfounded for a while without saying a word. Once she collected herself, she hurriedly explained to Huang Mingyue, "Mingyue, it's not what you think." But Huang Mingyue didn't want to waste time. stating directly, "Why do those who do such things always have this excuse?" I then asked Aunt Lu, "Did Zhao Kai ever mention the risks regarding the investments he convinced you to make?" Aunt Lu shook her head, still dazed. "No, he said it was guaranteed profits." I continued, "If we asked you to report him now, could you do it?" Aunt Lu's expression changed. "How could that be? I invested without letting your Uncle Lu know. If he finds out, what will I do?" Huang Mingyue added, "At this point, do you think you can still keep it a secret?" I said, "We could have sent this record directly to your husband." Once Aunt Lu heard this, she panicked. "Mingyue, it's Annie's fault for making you suffer. You mustn't tell your Uncle Lu. If he knows, I'll be done for." Huang Mingyue looked at me thoughtfully, clearly not wanting to ruin Aunt Lu's family. At this moment, I said, "You just need to report it. When the time comes for taking notes or going to court, we'll have Mingyue accompany you. We can request a private hearing." Huang Mingyue also felt that my suggestion was reasonable and nodded. "This is the greatest leniency we can offer you." Aunt Lu was still hesitating. The sweat on her face had smudged her makeup, making her look both pitiful and ridiculous. But thinking about how she had turned her good life into this, it wasn't really worth pity. At that moment, I said, "You should call Zhao Kai first and ask how much money you have left in those investment products." Upon hearing this, Aunt Lu's heart stirred as she asked, "You mean, has it dropped?" I shook my head and said, "I don't know. That's why I'm asking you to inquire. If he says it's gone up, just say you're continuing to cash out, and we'll know whether he allows it." Aunt Lu hurriedly took out her phone and called Zhao Kai. Huang Mingyue imitated me, pressing the speakerphone and recording on Aunt Lu's phone. Only then did Aunt Lu ask, "Zhao Kai, what's the status of my investments now?" Zhao Kai replied, "The situation is looking good. It has gone up quite a bit. I think you should take this opportunity to buy a few more." Aunt Lu interjected, "Zhao Kai, I'm sorry, but I have some urgent matters at home and need cash. Can you help me cash out?" Zhao Kai quickly responded, "Cash out? If you do it now, you might lose quite a bit of your profits." Aunt Lu hurriedly said, "I have 4 million with you, and it has gone up quite a bit as well. Can you calculate for me? At most, I'll forfeit the new profits. I just want the principal." Zhao Kai started to hesitate, saying, "I'm telling you, it's really not a good time to withdraw." Hearing this, even Aunt Lu, no matter how naive, understood, "Is the money at a loss?" After a moment of hesitation, Zhao Kai said, "To be honest, the recent market hasn't been good, but you can rest assured." Huang Mingyue gave Aunt Lu a knowing look, and Aunt Lu understood. "Let's leave it for now, we'll be in touch." After hanging up, I said to Aunt Lu, "Now you believe it, right? From the very beginning, Zhao Kai has been deceiving you." But Aunt Lu replied, "Mingyue, can you give me some time to think?" Huang Mingyue said, "You have until tomorrow at this time. If you don't contact me, I'll just send it straight to Uncle Lu." I glanced at the dazed Aunt Lu and couldn't help but shake my head. Just as we were preparing to leave, I received a text message on my phone, and I was instantly stunned. Huang Mingyue looked at me in surprise. "What happened?" I immediately said, 36,000 was withdrawn from my account, and it was taken out from several different banks. It suddenly occurred to me that although I had driven Su Tiantian away, I still had a bank card with her. Huang Mingyue seemed to understand what I meant. "Was it Tiantian who took it?" I nodded and then removed Su Tiantian from my blacklist and called her. However, she hung up immediately and wouldn't answer. At that moment, Huang Mingyue showed me her phone. "Just now Zhao Kai contacted Tiantian." I looked at their chat record timestamps. It was right after Huang Mingyue and I left Aunt Lu's house. Zhao Kai was trying to borrow money from Su Tiantian, and his approach was quite similar to how he had deceived Aunt Lu. He said the bank was having a promotion for a high-profit investment product. Even the people inside the bank had bought it, but he didn't have enough money and wanted to borrow from Su Tiantian. He also said that once he made money, he would pay her back with interest, treating it as her investment. If there were losses, it would be Zhao Kai's responsibility. I never expected Su Tiantian would take the money from my card without a second thought. I called Su Tiantian several more times, but she still didn't answer. I then dialed Zhao Kai's number again. He picked up but didn't say anything. I spoke directly. "Every penny Su Tiantian gives you was taken without consent from my account. If you dare to accept it, just wait to go to jail." Huang Mingyue took the opportunity to show Aunt Lu the messages Zhao Kai sent Su Tiantian earlier. "Look, are these not the same words he used to deceive you?" I stood up and said, "I don't care how long you need to think. I'm preparing to report this to the police. Once they get involved, it won't concern me anymore. Upon hearing this, Aunt Lu immediately stood up and said, "Then, I'll go with you." Huang Mingyue and I exchanged glances and immediately took Aunt Lu to report the case. After I explained the situation at the police station, they quickly started an investigation. The police also called Su Tiantian, and this time she answered. However, after listening to the police, she immediately said, "That's my own money. Why can't I take it?" The police asked, "Is it your own money? Was that card registered under your ID?" Su Tiantian replied, "That's my boyfriend's pocket money for me." The police said, "It was your boyfriend who reported it, saying that you two have broken up. You'd better come to the police station to explain the situation." Su Tiantian fell silent, but I knew she wasn't very brave and wouldn't dare to not come. Soon, Su Tiantian arrived by taxi. When she saw me and Huang Mingyue inside, her expression changed immediately. The police immediately asked her to account for the whereabouts of the money. Su Tiantian took everything out from her bag. She hadn't even had the chance to give it to Zhao Kai yet. The police also asked her, "Taking money without asking is theft. Don't you understand this at all?" Then they asked me, "Now that the money has been retrieved, do you want to pursue charges?" I thought for a moment and said, "Forget it, it's also my fault for not getting the card back when we broke up. Just getting the money back is enough." After both sides signed and sealed, we left the police station. But Huang Mingyue still had to stay with Aunt Lu to wait for her case to continue. Su Tiantian, who had been cowardly in the police station, as soon as she stepped out, coldly sneered at me. "Wang Chong, you really make me feel sick." I looked at her in disbelief. Su Tiantian said, "I have been with you for a year. What's the big deal with your little bit of money? Damn, I spent over 360,000 on you in a year." I frowned and said, "Who the hell is going to compensate me for the time I've wasted on you? Also, whose money do you think this is? Don't you have any self-awareness? I didn't make you leave a criminal record. That's me being generous after over a year with you. Damn it." After saying this, I turned around and walked away, not wanting to deal with her for even a second. Leaving her there shouting in frustration. Part 10. Later, I heard from Huang Mingyue that Zhao Kai had been taken to the police station for investigation by the police from the bank. He was taken away in front of all his colleagues at the bank. This time he was completely done for, because besides Aunt Lu's case, he had quite a few similar cases under his belt. One case led to another, one after the other exploded. And shortly after Zhao Kai was arrested, those who had bought financial products from Zhao Kai all went to the bank to cause a scene. In the end, several of Zhao Kai's cases were reviewed together. But even when Zhao Kai's issues came to light, Su Tiantian still couldn't bring herself to believe it. She always thought that Zhao Kai was set up by me and Huang Mingyue for revenge. Huang Mingyue directly sent Su Tiantian the recording of how Zhao Kai insulted her that day. From then on, both Huang Mingyue and I stopped caring about all this and went back to our own lives. Occasionally, we would meet up and have a meal together. As time passed, Huang Mingyue and I became friends who talked about everything. In fact, our relationship became better than before. But between men and women, how can there be pure friendship? In truth, we both had feelings for each other and knew that our impressions of each other were at least not bad. But we just never broke through that layer of glass between us. Moreover, Huang Mingyue knew that I had just broken up with Su Lily, and she didn't know exactly what I was thinking. And although Huang Mingyue had dated Zhao Kai, in this day and age, what kind of relationship is it if you haven't even held hands a few times? Later, I heard that Zhao Kai's case was sentenced, and I was too lazy to inquire about the outcome. I also heard from Huang Mingyue that Su Tiantian had left the city. Just as my business was entering a peak season, I was so busy that I had no time to care about where she went. After that, sometimes Huang Mingyue would come by my storefront after work to see me and bring me food. Sometimes when I had things in my hands and couldn't spare a hand, Huang Mingyue would take the initiative to feed me. I seemed to not think much of it and just ate what she gave me. However, people around us felt that my relationship with Huang Mingyue was not ordinary. When Huang Mingyue wasn't around, someone even asked me, "Changgu, how about I set you up with a girlfriend?" I replied directly, "No, it was time for dating." He laughed and said, "You must have your mind set on Mingyue now, right?" I just smiled and didn't say much. After I got through my busy season, I finally had some free time. Just then, a friend gave me 2 movie tickets, and my first thought was of Huang Mingyue, so I called her. I never expected Huang Mingyue to say on the phone, "I was just about to call you." What a coincidence. A friend gave me 2 movie tickets, and I was thinking of asking you. Hearing this, I smiled and continued to sort things out, not taking it seriously. "I'm here," Huang Mingyue then said. "The movie I'm going to see is a domestic one called Love Must Be Boldly Spoken Out." After hearing the name of the movie, we both fell silent for a moment. It felt as if these 2 films were custom-made for us. Our movie showtimes perfectly aligned, with only a 15-minute gap in between. I immediately said with a smile, "Perfect, let's have a meal together first, then watch both movies without wasting any time." That evening, I went home to take a shower and changed into a clean outfit before heading out to meet her. I was the first to arrive, and after waiting for less than 10 minutes, I saw Huang Mingyue coming. What surprised me was that she was wearing the same outfit Su Tiantian had worn when she first brought her to meet me. That time, I was mesmerized but didn't dare to look too much since I already had a girlfriend. This time, however, I took a good look at Huang Mingyue without holding back. The greatest respect a man can show a woman is to offer her the highest admiration with his gaze. While we ate, we chatted casually, discussing everything under the sun. To outsiders, we appeared to be a couple. Yet we had not pointed it out ourselves. Although Huang Mingyue was generally proactive in work and social situations, when it came to feelings, she was still a woman. And even if she wanted to be proactive, I wouldn't allow it. I had decided to take the initiative tonight, so as not to leave any regrets. After the movie ended, I prepared to confess my true feelings to Huang Mingyue. I knew Huang Mingyue was also waiting for this moment. The end.